Let's move on to our other favorite, Davey, shall we? So we got Davey over at K-12 Shooting Database, and he had this little gem for us this morning. He had a number of them, but we had to trim this segment down a bit because it was getting a little long. But there was just so many things that the goofy gun grabbers are out there saying this morning that we had plenty to choose from. All right, so old Davey at K-12. Doc, if you throw up number 5. And so he's talking about the shooting that took place in Finland, and this is his comments. He doesn't link to, but he takes a snapshot of an article, which is common because he doesn't want you reading the article. He has his own narrative.
Correct.
He never wants to link to his source documents. Anyway, so reactive approach, changing gun laws after a school shooting. Proactive approach, changing gun laws now to prevent school shootings in the future. All right. And then nihilist approach, nothing can be done. School shootings will continue. So what he's trying to say that, we on the 2A community are just saying, well, we don't want to do anything. We just have to accept this. No, we don't. We actually make proposals, but then you shoot those down. Things like, security. Well, security is good when you're talking about TSA. Security is good when you're talking about federal marshals at courthouses, at federal buildings. Security is good when you're talking about going to, football games and baseball games. You have security all over the place. We have security everywhere. And he takes part in and appreciates that security, except when we're talking about schools. Suddenly, when you're talking about schools, security doesn't work. Policing doesn't work. Police in schools, because he constantly makes these posts like, look, a resource officer left his gun in the bathroom today. And he's literally made these posts. Actions happen. People make mistakes and people do dumb things. And you can't point to every mistake a person does or makes and say, well, that's justification for taking your rights away. Somebody did something dumb.
Well, it's similar to criminal behavior as well.
Right.
I mean, like, you can't look at outlier situations, which are horrible situations, and just go, oh, see, we can't have any rights without exploring any other options. In fact, not only not exploring them, but also shooting them down immediately. Chris Murphy, gun control king in the Senate, openly shut down debate on funding schools for hardening schools.
They want to do it. They need the chaos.
Because it's not the gun control.
They need gun control. And to get gun control, people like Davey are willing to let these things happen. They'll do nothing to thwart them because the chaos that ensues because of their policies, just like at the border and everywhere else leftists touch things, this chaos is what they use to get leverage, to get more political power. And so
you want to know
they let it happen.
Real world?
Go ahead.
Real world example of this? And we're going to actually do an episode on this in a second. So the left, the Biden DOJ, Biden himself, all the acolytes for the left are coming out and saying that we are in the biggest crime decline on the planet because of Biden. Yeah. And we've had more guns purchased and we've had no gun control put forward that they told us would be the required necessary ingredient. And now they're still doing this whole game of look how amazing we are. But then they dropped the gun control thing because that didn't happen. So they can't point to that. It's a big game. And it points to the idea that criminals are going to criminal. You got to protect and resist. It's that simple. And it's just so funny, the games that they play, because we've shown the graph multiple times how it's falling from the 90s all the way down here. And they're talking about little blips as these unbelievable responses to Biden who did absolutely nothing.
And they always want to say, propose more laws, reasonable restrictions, not outright bans, they'll claim, but we know that's not the truth. That's the end goal. Well, but they just want this incrementalism. So we just need one more gun law to say we could be proactive, folks. We could stop these school shootings if we just banned, this particular firearm. Suddenly crime will stop and criminals will stop criminaling and people stop hurting each other. It's not like we went through the Middle Ages or anything else where people just slaughtering each other just every chance they got. I mean, no, humans aren't violent. All you got to do is ban this one inanimate object and suddenly humans fall right in line and become law-abiding people who don't hurt each other. The naivety is so out of this world to even take that position. My response to him was this. So we have around 20,000 gun laws on the books at the state and federal levels here in the United States. Please tell the class what an additional gun law will accomplish to stop criminals from being criminals. I know you'll never respond because you can't, and they can't. When you ask them what an assault weapon is, they can't answer. When you say, what's this one gun law? Okay, Davey, let's have a conversation. All right, I'm coming to the table. Let's talk about this. You get one gun law. What is that one gun law that you can pass? And you get to pass no more that you think will stop crime in the United States that falls short of an outright ban on all firearms. What's that one law? And they can't answer any more than they can answer what an assault weapon is because there is no answer. The real answer, the truth, they won't give you because in truth, they want the guns banned, all of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it goes towards their utopian ideal. It's at the end of the day, and this is where it's so fascinating. All of these things are blended together towards a end goal of ultimate control, command and control, centralized power for a basically socialistic society,
Yep.
which would feed into communism
Right.
eventually, because the quality of life will be improved if everything has a guaranteed equality of outcome. Now, it'll be equal in crap, but it would be equal. There would be no haves and no have-nots, but society as a whole would be lower.
Right.
And it's just like, that's just stupidity. It's just
Yeah,
idiotic.
well, that's what they are. I mean, unfortunately. So let's go with number 6, Doc. This is the last one. We can wrap things up for this episode. Davey K12 once again. So here he's taken a picture. Actually, I think it's an actual video, and he actually embedded it, I believe, in this one. So he embedded the news article this time, which is out of character for him. Tennessee bill would allow for 1 in 75 ratio of armed school staff to students. Why 1 in 75? It's a completely made up number that's not based on any evidence. There are no peer-reviewed studies showing a deterrent effect from presence of armed staff, police, or capable guardians. So here he is once again making the argument that security just doesn't work, folks. We want it everywhere else. I want security at the airport. I want security at sporting events. I want security everywhere I go, but just not in schools. That's insanity. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
it's crazy. The kids couldn't learn.
But then he goes on, and this is something, and I responded to him with this one. It's a completely made up number, the 1 in 75 ratio. It's a completely made up number, kind of like something that Davey supports outside of this discussion. Magazine bans. That's it. Yes. He is in support of a 10-round magazine ban. Show me the peer-reviewed study that says 10 rounds prevents people from doing stupid things or being criminals. Why not 9? Why not 11? Why 10? What's the magic number there, Davey? See?
Well, the interesting thing is I think the number is 2. I think the actual number provided in courts is 2 rounds per incident, I think is the actual number.
2 rounds per incident. It sounds made up too. Anyway, so
no, I know. I'm just saying that's what
the point being is. This is no different than the 6-foot rule during the 6-foot rule during the Wuhan Weezer, right? It was completely arbitrary, but people took it as fact. This 10-round magazine ban is going to save lives. It's going to stop every school, massacre and all this stuff. But in reality, there's nothing to prove that 10-round magazines do anything. We had a sheriff right here in Indiana do an entire video where he took an inexperienced shooter, a female shooter, and gave her 2 15-round magazines and 3 10-round magazines to fire a total of 30 rounds on the clock with reloads. And guess what? We're talking about a second difference or so. Right. And this is not even an experienced shooter. This is an inexperienced shooter that should take longer on those reloads. So it doesn't save lives. So you have to carry a couple extra magazines if you're going to do something criminal. You think criminals are just going to, oh, dang, man, we're relegated to 10-round magazines. Can't criminal today, folks. Got to call a day off.
Ran out of pockets. Yeah. I hate that. I do hate that.
It's so asinine. And here he is using our argument against us to say that security really doesn't work.
Or attempting to.
The hypocrisy and stupidity of these people is mind-boggling.
It does kind of hurt.
All right. Well, you want to add anything before?
But that was a good walk on the internet. No, that was a good walk on the internet. I think it was a good encapsulation of the goings-on in the gun control space recently.
Yeah, I got a little bit wound up there. So, folks, if you see anything good that the gun grabbers are out there posting on social media, go ahead and comment down below. We'll follow those links, and we'll see if there's something for a future video. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.